Hachette Audio presents The Silver Snarling Trumpet, The Birth of the Grateful Dead, The Lost Manuscript of Robert Hunter. Written by Robert Hunter, with a foreword by John Mayer, an introduction by Dennis McNally, and an afterword by Brigid Meier. Read by Fred Berman, foreword read by John Mayer, introduction read by Dennis McNally, and afterword read by Brigid Meier. Foreword by John Mayer.
When I was asked to write a foreword to a newly unearthed manuscript written by Robert Hunter, I immediately said yes. I knew that anything that came from his mind would interest me. Looking back on it, I suppose I was semi-prepared to read something abstract and to search for the messages where they might be hiding. After all, historically, lost works of art tend to help explain why they might have been shelved in the first place. Time bears out the best of the unpublished, and eventually, all that remains are high hopes and some assemblages of fits and starts. It was around the very first page of this book that I realized that was not the case, and that I was holding one of the most important documents in Robert Hunter's and Grateful Dead's history. A lost box of film that, when developed, would reveal some of the most striking images you've ever seen, the kind that make you go slack-jawed and your heart race. What you're listening to is not a recollection or a reconstruction. It is not a sifting through the sands of time to reach the long out of touch. It is a journal of the coming of age of one of the greatest lyricists the modern music world has ever known, and at times his friend, a young man known simply as Jerry. It is also a stark, deeply sensory account of the early 1960s that is brought to life so tactilely that at times it's hard to believe you're not peering through a viewfinder. History can only hold on to so much, and so it's usually the big shiny things that fit neatly into easily digestible timelines that it recalls, when all the while we know there was more. The seemingly insignificant car rides, and the late-night talks, and the countless times when nothing happened, except the slow and steady internal formation of a brilliance that would go on to change the world. We also know that these memories belong solemnly to the artists until they drift away from their own grasp as well. For decades, Deadheads have considered the story told, at least by its originators. Their interpretation might evolve, but the words in the story, they've driven.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?